Hello
Hello there.
there. Kyle Katarn here.
And the Bendu.
Coming back for another reaction to The Bad Batch.
Right, season 2. That's right. We're here for another amazing episode for, the expansion of the Star Wars universe. Not even necessarily like for one particular story. This is a group of stories. And
It continually grows. It grows
yeah,
with everything that gets added, Whether it makes sense at the time or not, it's still fleshing something out.
it's true.
Shout out to Nerd Chronic for editing this reaction for us and sneaking it past the Disney blockade. So last time we had a crazy, like Indiana Jones style tomb adventure in what I'm going to go ahead and say was a Zeffo tomb.
Dude,
I think evidence points that
the
way.
whole episode was fucking amazing. It was 100% an ode to all three Indiana Jones films. A little bit of
all the
Crystal Skull
references
too, but there was a lot. There was a lot.
Not just Indiana Jones.
references.
I swear there was some Fifth Element in there too.
Oh yeah, with
there was
the shape of the square symbols and like needing to align the stones in the right way. Yeah, no, it was 100% thing, and it didn't even end up being a tomb. It ended up being a fucking like mech beast.
Which again, another reference to like Mechagodzilla. Like it was fun. People would criticize it, saying that it doesn't really further the story, but I would say that it is the point. The story is that we are on these adventures with these guys right now.
Yeah.
Until an overarching narrative presents itself, I don't think we have any business complaining about the adventures that we're getting, because I think they're very entertaining, regardless of how important they're going to turn out to be in the grand scheme of things. Like that remains to be seen.
If anything, it makes me more like, not necessarily worried, but it makes me more skeptical or curious as to like what the more Empire heavy episodes are going to be like. Or,
I think they're lulling us into like a false sense of like, this is a lighthearted kind of like, and then they're going to tear our hearts out.
Yeah. And then the crosshair,
twist that knife.
And then the crosshair episodes are going to start kicking in, and then it's going to be real. And then we haven't even seen Cody yet. And all we know is Commander Cody just decided to go AWOL all of a sudden after.
What happened? Where did he go?
Dude,
if I know Cody, I think he's going to try and seek out Rex first and foremost, but we don't know for sure yet. Before we dive into the episode, we posted a Patreon poll. As you know, Nerd Chronic edits our reactions down for us here on YouTube, but we're only able to show 10 minutes of licensed footage. So for the full-length uncut versions of the reactions, you can go onto our Patreon. Another cool thing about supporting us on Patreon is that you get to vote in the content polls, like this one. We asked you guys, do you think the giant robot in this previous episode came from an ancient civilization that we already know? Zeffo, Ricotta, or other? And I think other can mean no, it's something totally new as well.
Ujan Vong. Kidding.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Sissy Rook. Overwhelmingly, with 93% of the vote, looks like everyone agrees with me, it's the Zeffo. I think it's a pretty safe bet. There's so many commonalities, Ricotta got 0%. Ouch. And other with 7%. Okay, respectable.
Completely wrong for the Ricotta, for the Ricotta, but yeah, it definitely has
science.
Amazing
it doesn't really support the Ricotta, but
ancient vibes to it.
That's kind of the only reason I included Ricotta on here, is because they're another ancient civilization that has at least a fair amount of representation in Star Wars so far. Maybe not in canon, but like we've seen them a bunch. So
I was gonna say, how many Zeffo references have we had? Because the only one I've seen immediately thus far has been Fallen Order. But
well, that's it. This would be the second.
So this would be the reference of like a super ancient Star Wars race, but only the second time that it's really been referenced to.
That's pretty much it. Yes, unless there are some like sneaky references to the Zeffo in the High Republic that people have missed. I don't know that there are though. Aiden Pullen says, I disagree with the Zeffo. Their portrayal, for the most part, has been generally very peaceful society, if I remember right, and a giant super weapon that just deals indiscriminate destruction doesn't feel like the right vibe. Not to mention, it doesn't really look like the same style visually. I will give you that the Zeffo were generally peace-loving, but they kind of like went off the deep end towards the end of their civilization, so I think it does still kind of fit to have a weapon. Aiden Pullen goes on to say, I suppose it could be Ricotta, since they were known to be this vast, violent, crazy, powerful empire, but I don't think they'd confirm that at all. I feel like, given the general episodic filler feel to the past few episodes, they plan to keep it as vague as possible, hence simply calling it something from an ancient civilization. Yeah, that's fair. I don't think we're going to get a definite concrete answer one way or the other, you know? Hence all this speculation.
But it is another example of the expanding of the universe and the idea that, like, maybe we could get a Visionaries episode with similar architecture or similar technology from what we've seen.
Would be so sweet.
Or, you know,
I mean, it's
something super creepy, it's super weird and alien tech that's you know,
yeah, it could be completely brand new. Like, it's a big galaxy. There's room for a lot of dead civilizations out there, honestly. You know, it doesn't everything that have to be the same one every time. Hussein Sultanzada says, as much as I'd like it to be Rakata, it's more likely to be from the Zepho, as they are being established as the ancient beings in the new canon, and the designs look similar too. Also, it would make sense so the average fans or fans of Jedi Fallen Order would be enticed to watch the show, and vice versa. Yeah, that's a good point. It's probably not a coincidence that this episode would drop hot on the heels of, well, originally hot on the heels of Jedi Fallen Order 2. It's been pushed back to April, but when they scheduled this episode to drop, you know, they were expecting it to be a month away.
That's true. If anything, this just gives them, the game developers, I mean, for the pushback, it just gives them a little bit more time to polish the apple, as it were, I think.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's the right decision. I always support games being delayed because it means they're going to be better when they are released, you know?
Yeah, we're
Star
just
Wars,
the generation of released too early games and sped up.
People rush things. People rush things and they release them before they're done, and the overall game suffers for it, you know? Star Wars Daddy 66 says, I think it would be cool if the imps found it and researched it. Like the ancient temple. That would be a cool way to give us the answers, to see them through like Imperial scientists finding this out.
Or the advancement of energy weapons.
That totally tracks. You're totally right, though. And the final comment is from Mr. Napcakes. Says, I definitely think it's Zepho. I think the giant killer mech lines up with their civilization's fall from grace and late-age tyranny referenced in the Dathomir sections of the game. 100%. If it's not Zepho, I still think it's awesome that we see some ancient pre-Jedi tech. Completely agree. It's really cool to step outside of like the Star Wars history that we know, because it's so heavily documented. Like, you can get this false impression that it's always been just Jedi and Sith always for the whole history. But there was such a long period of history before that they were on the scene where other big galactic players were out there. The Rakatan Empire, the Zepho kingdoms, like.
And for the future.
It's cool to get a glimpse of that.
Yeah, I mean, and something in reference to our online Star Wars RPG game, if you cue on in. But the Ujan Vong is also something that's, you know, very hauntingly chilling in the outer rims and the outer spaces, and
they're like a big threat that looms out there in the unknown regions.
Like they're
I would not call them a dead civilization. They are like fully alive.
Just
like the whole thing about the Zepho is there aren't any living Zepho left, you know. Same with the Rakatans. The Yuuzhan Vong are their whole civilization still. They're just really, really far away, you know. Like the Chiss. They're more like the Chiss in that way.
That's fair.
But the Chiss aren't really a threat. I think the Grisk are supposed to be the new canon version of the Yuuzhan Vong. They've been mentioned a couple times, and they're going to be players in the Thrawn novels moving forward.
Maybe mentioned in the Ahsoka show. We shall see.
Maybe. Actually, yeah. Because, I mean, that's where we're getting our Thrawn, and I feel like if we're getting any sort of Chiss lore, it'll be wherever Thrawn shows up, so.
But what's cool about this next Bad Batch episode is how it's also called The Tribe. And we do know that in a few of the teasers, we have seen a nice little Wookiee Jedi.
Could this be the Wookiee episode? Could this be Gungi? Oh, I don't know if I'm ready, man. All right, best friend, let's do this.
The best little energetic push that we need.
Do it! Oh, look at this place.
God, look at that. Look at the glow of the planet. Oh, the graphics have gone so far.
Proceed. A very deep voice.
I like how thick the droids are. Like, they're very, like...
Is this whole station droid run?
We need to ascertain their viability.
I created these chain codes myself.
Chain codes. Nice. They're selling fake IDs. Wookiee? Wookiee sounds? Oh, come on.
No, you're hitting him.
Do not interfere with Vanguard Access business.
Yeah, Gungi, mess him up. I like how they're using DC-15s.
It's like, wouldn't the droids know? Like,
well, that's the thing. The droids don't necessarily automatically know.
There's
because
no
Star
Wi-Fi,
Wars is
that's
famous
right,
for like
yeah.
having non-networked technology. You know?
yeah. They're not a hive mind.
Exactly. It's very rare for that to be the case.
Dude, these droids are totally intimidating.
Oh shit! Nice.
Bolts.
Fuck yeah, Gungi.
What are you doing? You need to.
He's looking for his lightsaber.
Omega, let's get back to the ship.
It's okay.
Uh-oh.
He's a friend.
Because he looks like one of the droids.
No, because he looks like a clone.
Those droids are after him. Come on.
He does look like
Oh
a
no,
droid.
yeah, you're right.
Oh,
I guess that's true.
Look at
Why would he
that
trust
arm.
clones?
What sort of treachery is this?
Stay back.
They're with us. You can't smuggle living beings.
For the right price, I can do whatever I want.
Yes.
Stand down or be destroyed.
Woo! Fuck yeah! God, I've missed that saber. It's so cool looking.
Of course, it's a green blade too.
Do they still get paid for the job? Because Sid's gonna be pissed. Oh my god, yes.
Look at that little snaggle tooth that he's got.
I know. God, he's so cute.
Why is he sitting back there alone?
Because he's been traumatized and he's had no one to talk to about what he went through.
Here. You look hungry.
Taquitos.
Nice.
What's wrong?
He doesn't trust us.
Space Lunchables just like Luke had on Dagobah.
He has good reason to be cautious.
I'm
Yeah, like you were
sorry
saying.
about what happened, but we are not like the other clones.
I'm Omega. What's your name?
I think he says his name is Gungi.
Welcome back.
Gungi or Gungi?
It's Gungi, but I'm not gonna stop saying Gungi.
If he's trying to get
Because
to
nobody
the
thinks a
homeworld,
Wookiee's
we
going to
can
be
take
force sensitive.
Been a while since we've
Yeah, I
been to
know.
Kashyyyk.
Racists.
We don't know if it's safe for him there. He's a Jedi. He's not safe anywhere.
We know how bad Kashyyyk gets by the time of Jedi Fallen Order, but this is a little bit before then, so maybe it's not quite as bad yet.
I've locked into the coordinates, but I'm picking up heavy smoke and deforestation. Keep an eye out for Imperial outposts.
Alright, well there's your answer. Oh, this is awesome. We're actually going like deep into the jungles of Kashyyyk. We almost always come here and just chill
Even
on
the
the beach,
music
you
is
know?
completely different.
I just noticed that Gungi's fur is animated to resemble like a Jedi tunic. The way like the long fur stops just above his knees, just the way a tunic does. Oh god.
Are those spider
Fucking
webs?
Y-Shocks, dude?
Are those giant fucking spider
No.
webs? Bro.
Fucking Y-Shocks, dude, you gotta fight them in Jedi Fallen Order. No.
What the fuck?
That's not a Y-Shock. What the fuck is that?
Dude! You kill those in fucking KOTOR. You fight those in KOTOR.
Oh my god, you're right. You're totally right. Oh, nice. He's got the animal sense power too.
Kinraths.
Yeah, I don't like those. I don't like those things.
That's right. Fucking Kinraths, bro. Dude, what a
Kinraths.
reference. What a reference.
That's gorgeous.
According to my telemetry,
Aside from the black
village
smoke.
is straight
Oh my
ahead.
god, you're right. It is such a tunic, especially with the red,
Yeah, he's got a little fur tunic on.
With
It's
his
fucking
red-
hilarious.
his red belt, cummerbund.
I was really worried this
Oh,
was
shit.
the news he was going to get about his tribe.
The Empire incinerated the entire village.
God.
The Empire destroyed our home too. Don't worry. We'll find your people.
This is his Lars Homestead moment. Like, now he has no roots, he has nothing to stop him from just, like, answering the call of adventure.
What do you see? Trandoshans, and they have a Wookiee hostage.
Oh, fuck.
How did they get their hands on
Oh, they're
Imperial
slavers.
tanks?
Kind of
Because they're state-sponsored mercenaries, dude.
Those are old droid tanks or separatist tanks.
We found more of those carved stone.
Stay on schedule. Blast them to dust.
I love it when Trandoshans show up because it always means we're about to get some A+ voice acting.
That's very true.
Oh, man.
Oh, dude, so they're not even blasting. They're just straight up.
Dude, they're fucking melting the ceremonial stones. Like, there's no good reason to do that. It's just to be cruel. And Gunji's not going to stand for that shit. Look at him.
Dude, so I wonder if the droids built that tank as a flamethrower, or
Fuck him up,
or if
Gunji.
they retrofitted.
It's retrofitted. They've retrofitted it. The only flamethrower tanks they had in the Separatist army was the exfoliator thing, or the defoliator, you know? Fucking exfoliator, just blast skincare products at you.
Dude, Trandoshans versus Wookiees is like...
I love that
where it all started.
Gunji's going from, like, just the token Wookiee Padawan to, like, a goddamn hero of his people right now.
Local legends.
Yeah, there will be poems and songs about Gungi.
Bringing down the Trandoshan flamethrower.
Get wrecked!
There's no using stun here.
Nope.
It's not a single circle in the sky. There's our blast.
Nah.
Look at that saber. At least you're back home on your home planet. Man.
That's so bittersweet, though, when all your stuff is gone like this.
Trandoshans? No.
That doesn't sound like Trandoshans to me.
Bigger.
What?
What the fuck is that?
Let's fucking go.
Is that
What?
Lynx? What is that?
They're like jungle monka cats, kinda.
What the fuck face ears are those?
Wookiee soothsayer, bro. He's like the village elder. This is all very KOTOR right now.
This is all very, very KOTOR. Oh, I want that stick.
Her name is Yana. She appears to be leading them.
We came because Gunji was in trouble. Jedi or not, he's still a child. He needs his people.
True.
And that answers the question of, if you put a poncho on a Wookiee, do they look like an Ewok? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
What do we have here?
Lightsaber marks. Surviving Jedi.
Oh, shit.
We need to notify Imperial Command.
No.
I find the Jedi first.
Yes, please. Let your hubris delay the protocol, and then they can maybe get away with this. That looks super refreshing.
Right?
No thanks. You don't know what you're missing.
Be
That
like,
is
what
a
kind
good
of jungle
tip,
juice?
I don't know, but the Wookiees are totally stoked that Wrecker is partaking.
Drinking aloe vera water.
The Wookiees were our allies for years. We have to do something.
If you stay and defend, it's just going to draw more attention.
That's true, Echo. God, this is so KOTOR, dude. See, at least the like adult Wookiees don't have the same hair pattern as Gunji. Like, at least there's like kind of an age difference.
They've done a good enough job. Actually, these Wookiees, the fur, it looks good enough. I think this is probably the best looking Wookiees we've had in animation. Praying to the Roshire.
What are they doing?
They're asking the tree spirits for guidance.
Yep, the Roshire trees.
They believe this planet belongs to the trees, and they are allies in this fight.
And they're right.
We're allies. supplies we can get.
Makes me think of the end of Avatar when the planet starts like sending wildlife to help them.
Or in our other favorite movie, tree herders, shepherds of the forest.
The trees have a plan.
I love this. We're getting the mystical side of Kashyyyk.
Whatever they say.
The tree is talking, Mary. The tree is talking.
Don't encourage it.
They can't run far.
Roger, Roger. Nice.
Straight grenade. Fuck your
Get
tank.
fucked.
Get fucked.
No! Oh, I knew we were going to lose some Wookiees. Still don't want to see it, though.
Draw them into the nest.
Oh, I see. I see. Draw them into the Kinrath nest.
Yep. Have the spiders do it.
That was great. Did you hear Wrecker doing a Wookiee roar? No!
Pitch.
No, don't use your saber. And now you've got to kill every witness. Flamethrower, get out of the way. Friendly fire. Wow, he doesn't give a fuck. Wrecker's like in his element among the Wookiees.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. One with the people. Oh, they're sending vibrations up the tree.
Yeah, they are.
That's terrifying.
Oh my god, there's so many Kinrath.
Guess the trees knew what they were doing.
They have poison bites too. They are really easy. They are really easy to kill though.
Dude, Gunky's gonna whip your ass.
I feel like for a species that, like... I'll hold that thought.
Come on, come on. Disable the weapon. Did he get it? Nice. Oh, brutal. Yikes. Oh, that's not a good way to go. They're gonna like liquefy his insides and suck them out of his body.
When a young one leaves, the trees weep. But when they return, the trees sing. Perhaps one day, we all will find a new path.
Hopefully, one far away from war.
It's a nice thought. It's too bad we know it's not gonna happen.
Oh god, yeah, right?
For decades at least. That was a banger episode. I really liked it. It was another side story. But honestly, I think the common thread through all of these is that Omega is learning things from the people she meets.
Oh,
And
completely.
she's like
Definitely...
she's like picking up skills and tropes and like mirroring, like she's learning from Gungi about being like connected to the surroundings. And she learned that from the Wookiees. Like with Fee, she learned about being daring and intrepid and like taking chances in the tomb. Like
and trusting your gut and understanding, like, you know, patterns and the thrill.
And Hunter's totally right. She's just a kid, but she doesn't get to be. It's like Omega is one of the most like innocent, like full of childlike wonder characters we've ever gotten. And she's growing up in one of the darkest periods of Star Wars history we've ever seen.
That's very true. That's 100%.
It's like I know that we've got this whole Clone Rebellion, Clone Force 99 against the world, but I think the real heart of the story is like what it means to be like an optimistic, innocent child in the darkest time in history.
And theoretically, we got that with Ahsoka also, because we essentially grew up with Ahsoka throughout the entirety of the Clone Wars, which in and itself is a completely dark and depressing period of time. But there is
it's a dark and depressing period, and it's closing the door on like the Renaissance.
Completely different,
you know?
But it's completely different from like the overall overarching build of a fascist empire completely taking over, you know, the outreaches of a galaxy. Like this is, yeah, it's different. It's different. Especially, and
It
then
hits
like
different
Ahsoka
too, because
wasn't.
like Ahsoka has
She was
the
never a
privilege of
refugee.
having a whole Jedi Order. And
Yeah, she was
this and
never
that.
she was never a fugitive in the entirety of like the time that we were watching her, except for like maybe in Rebels. But like this, but like with Bad Batch, like they constantly have to be on the fringe of we can't draw too much attention to ourselves because we need to keep the Empire thinking we're dead and we don't exist. But at the same time, we keep getting introduced to these different people, these different cultures, which remind us that like we do need to play like a bigger part in the story, or not the story, but
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
people need our help.
And I think it's all going to come back into the fold by the end. Like maybe not specifically what happened on the Zephyr planet and what happened here, but like a lesson Omega learned there is going to come in handy. You know, that sort of thing. And furthermore, like it's being on the run and having the uncertainty of knowing whether you're going to get caught or not, like that is enough to take a massive toll on like a fully grown adult brain, let alone being like a child living under those uncertain circumstances.
And
like,
I think that's why
it's got to weigh on you so much.
Yeah, and I think that's the emphasis of Hunter's point of view, at least for us as viewers, is because Hunter is that, you know, adoptive, adult, paternal point of view. Echo is more
Totally.
so of
He's
like,
definitely the father. He's definitely the dad of the Dad Batch.
But then there's still Echo who like has this constant like we should be doing more. There's a bigger view of the world out here, and Tech's kind of on that same cue of like we really should be doing more. And then Wrecker's just sort of going with the flow. He hasn't necessarily shown an opinion of any sort, except for today, except for tonight, and of his opinion of like, oh yeah, I like these Wookiees, they're fine.
Well, I think that Echo and Tech's opinion is going to win the day, and Hunter will come around and realize that's the best way to keep Omega safe, is not to hide, but to try and create a safer world for her to live in.
Yeah,
you know, awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I really am starting to miss Crosshair, though. I'd love to check in with him and see what he's up to again. But in the meantime, I'm totally happy with the episode that we got. It was awesome to see Kashyyyk again. It was awesome to see Gungi again. Yes, I know it's Gungi. No, I don't care. I'm going to keep saying Gungi.
Same with
because I've been
Kashyyyk
saying
versus
Gungi since the
Kashyyyk.
Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Kashyyyk.
Well, I mean, they say Kashyyyk
like not the real him.
and a few other video games too. So.
That's right. He says Kashyyyk in the movie. It's Kashyyyk and KOTOR.
Yeah, but I think didn't Wrecker call it Kashyyyk? I feel like somebody did. Somebody said it.
If it was said out loud, then it was said correctly because it is Kashyyyk. Yeah. I also appreciated that the subtitles didn't just say speaking Wookiee; it said speaking Shriwook. Like that's pretty good.
That was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and the village elder Yana, she was like. She had a sweet staff. She was like a wizard cool. Vibe with the poncho and the
something I was I had thought, but I didn't want to interrupt the flamethrower lightsaber fight. I find it ironic and funny that Trandoshans, who like in a couple of fan films we've seen have like a thermal filter in their eyes. I feel like it wouldn't be super smart for lizards to be using fire for their main thing. Like, wouldn't you just like blind yourself? So like, wait. I can't now differentiate anything because everything's the
That's
same
a very
temperature.
good point. That's a very good point. If you make everything hot, now everything's the same color and you can't see.
You're like, oh, fuck. What's happening here? Yeah.
I wonder if all Trandoshans have that.
Like
or if it's something that you develop over time, you know?
How to see? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, how to have a thermal sense on top of your vision, you know? Who knows? Let us know in the comments if you are a Trandoshan expert and you know about their biology. Answer that.
Or if Bosk is just a boss and like that's just who he is. He's just a
Well, I was thinking if it's Bosk, because Bosk is the one that we see do that in the fan film. So I'm wondering if Bosk has like bounty hunter implants that he's spraying for professionally because it helps him kind of thing, you know? But that makes sense. It could be a racial trait. It could be all Trandoshans can do that, though.
Dude, speaking of racial traits, like the fact that we went a step further into the history of Trandoshans and Wookiees just like repetitively hating each other. Like the last time we got to see it was Black Chrysanthemum ripping a Trandoshan's arms off. Not one arm,
that was awesome.
Both arms. Fucking both arms. Chrysanthemum just takes a shot, gets pissed off at the bar, walks up to the dude, just
he went there looking for a fight. You know, he went there to rip some arms off.
Yeah.
Like that was the whole point. I love it.
And then Fennec is like, "Yo, do you want a job?" Yeah, it was great. Book of Boba Fett. Go watch it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our reaction to The Bad Batch, Season 2, Episode 6, Tribe. This reaction has been edited by Nerd Chronic to comply with fair use. It's been cut down, and we can only show 10 minutes here on YouTube. So if you want to check out the full-length version of this, you can hit us up on Patreon. There's a link in the description of the video to the Patreon page. Thanks again, and as always, may the Force be with you.